too interested. Difficulty studying and such.
And the first
Oh,
Kosai edited all them?
yes, correct. Dr. Tensai was the frontiersman in this regard. He's the one who did the original generations. After much argument among the first colonists, it was decided that he would be at the forefront, and so he was. Unfortunately, he went missing soon after the first generation was born, which is a great loss, I think. We would have probably been much more advanced than we currently are had he not vanished.
What happened on the day of his vanish?
Well, my father worked with him, and according to him in his notes, it was a rather unremarkable day. He had been walking through an early construction of a park that would later go on to be, I believe, Silver Park. And they had seen one of the workers taking a break, and Kosui had gotten into an argument with the man and then seemed agitated and then walked off. Originally, that man was believed to have been a killer. So he was under investigation for quite some time after Kosui went missing, but it turned out he had a perfectly airtight alibi. And then the disappearances began to happen, and the matter of Kosui's disappearance was sort of wrapped in with the entire Wolf of Paradise. Still to this day, do not know what happened to him.
Do we have like a list of people he's worked on other than me? Like a general list? I'm sure that would be patient information now.
I mean, privacy laws are rather loose about this subject as a matter of corporate cooperation. To what was later be all merged into just the ELO. But if you want to know which families he worked on, it was all of them, all of the founding families. They all have descendants that have been in some way imprinted upon by Kosui Tensai.
It's actually really crazy.
Is it? What makes you say that?
Well, she means that in like a good way, because like, can you imagine touching every person's life that you've like ever worked on? Like, I mean, you do, because you do that all the time.
I do.
It just feels like such a heavy project.
It can be. Well, it can seem like a lot of work, I think. But ultimately, it is for such a greater good that likely we will never get to appreciate in our individual lifetime. Who knows? 1,000 years from now, we may be perfect people, as it were, all because of the work we're doing today.
Can I ask you some of the limits of changes you can make?
Well, certainly. There are certain limitations, as mentioned, to the process. We can only make small adjustments here and there. Matters of cognition and behavior, certain very hereditary deadly diseases, fatal ones. As a result, the life expectancy up here on the moon is roughly 90 years now, 100. Very easily reached. We just had a person in, I believe, Crash City celebrate their 140th birthday. So
how much do you guys focus on that?
No, it is definitely at the forefront. The person that's 140, is actually from a rare tribe in Japan, not a lunar-bred individual, but someone who has received some treatments, not the sort of heavy gene editing, but certain medical treatments. We have yet to see the true limits of those who were born on the moon, but theoretically, and you can keep this under your hat if you'd like, the current generation of which you are a part, Miss Nova, is expected to live for as long as 200 years.
Ooh, I'm going to live for a really long time.
She low whistles. Wow.
Perhaps even longer. We don't know for certain. The medicine could allow for an even greater amount of time. It is a shame, of course. Your earthbound counterparts will be dead by the time you reach your half age.
Mia might tear up a little bit at the thought.
Hey, do you know what time Tensei was before he started working on this project? He obviously must have started from the Earth if he was involved with the original colonization efforts.
That is an interesting subject and one that I've actually looked into, He doesn't have much of a history on the Earth. There is some accreditation from different schools and different parts of Southeast Asia, but for the most part, a bit of a mystery.
Really? You would think that he would have to have some sort of track record.
Nia, when he said that, there's a lie that pings.
Oh, what part?
That he doesn't know much about Kosui Tensai's history.
Oh, Mia stiffens a little bit. What did your dad's notes say on his history?
Oh, they just mostly mentioned that he had dealt with some of the radical mutations that had been occurring on the Earth after the the incident no one really wants to acknowledge in 2011, and he came to the moon as part of the lunar colonization effort.
So, what did he do on Earth?
His work seemed to mostly be involved with lengthening of telomeres and generally an immortality type of project, it seemed like, or the hopes of reaching one.
And he did a lot of research on Earth before he came here on that?
I'm sure he must have to have been such a trusted member of the initial colonization team. Yes.
What was his original labs?
Oh, that I couldn't say for certain.
As a lie in that?
Nope.
Do you think we could see your father's notes?
I don't believe that would be wise. There's probably information in there that is still kind of owned by ELO, so I'm not sure how much of it I would even be allowed to show you, but I can certainly tell you some of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Out of curiosity, what is your work with blood?
Yes. What would you like to know about it?
I recently came hold of a interesting little sample I hadn't seen before, and my own equipment at the university is lacking considerably. Do you mind if I perhaps use a lab to look at it better? It seemed like it was mutating.
He raises his eyebrows.
Wanted
Mutating?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You're positive on this?
I'm fairly certain.
But by all means, I am quite interested in this subject. You are free to use the lab's equipment to do the research necessary. Provided, of course, that you're not in anyone's way. And do take all the proper precautions and make sure that there's no contamination or anything. If it is mutating, it may be dangerous.
Of course.
You are a professional, right? Is Miss O'Connor?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful.
Wait, how is it
Yes.
dangerous if it's mutating? I'm not a professional.
Well, if the samples were to cross over into other blood samples, it would taint results, and who knows where it could go from there. The whole point of gene editing is to make things very predictable, you know. You wouldn't want having something unpredictable at all mixing with things that we want to be very controlled. That would be a disaster. Miss O'Connor, you are, of course, free also to ask me if you need any help or assistance.
Of course, I may take you up on that offer.
Wonderful.
What would happen if someone that was, designed, gene edited, reproduced with someone that wasn't?
Oh, well, the edited genes would be able to be passed down, I think, through an unedited lineage, resulting in a cumulative good, although a bit diluted.
Huh, okay.
Well, the idea is, of course, you remove certain diseases from the gene pool, and over time, if enough edited people were to assimilate into an unedited population, it would result in a net good or gain. Eventually, it would be like as if they were all edited after a few short generations.
I see. So there doesn't seem to be any deteriorating by constantly editing genes every generation?
There's never been any evidence of that found. That's a
Okay.
lie.
The side effects seem relatively mild with LBD and stuff.
Yes, the side effects are rather inconsequential. Also a lie.
Nia visibly blinks at him several times. Are there other side effects?
None that I'm aware of. That's a lie.
Well, there's got to be more than just LDD, right?
Certainly not. Very inconsequential things, I think. Maybe an eye color changes here or there, but nothing off the wall.
Really? Because I
It's
think
all
you
lie.
could be four arms and stuff.
Do you know something that you'd like to share?
Oh no, I just thought four arms would be cool.
Well, perhaps those Martian spider ruffians can assist you with that. Although I've heard they're all packed up and left. What a shame.
Oh, I heard they went. I don't think they're alive. What do you know about the Martian spiders? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I know that what they do wouldn't have been possible without some form of gene editing, so it's likely they had someone either in their small organization or some connection that allowed them to edit their genes so that they could accept modifications, which, as you know, is quite dangerous, as I mentioned, after you've already been born.
Oh, so you're saying that St. Judas probably has their own gene editor?
I don't know what you mean by that. St. Judas, the hospital that was demolished.
Yeah, it got rather taken over for a while.
He did, yes, I heard that.
He's got no association with St. Judas. He wouldn't know.
That's right. I don't know a single thing about it. That is a lie.
Well, I'm sure, like, if they raided that place, you definitely wouldn't be a person to come to for information on gene splicing that they were doing.
I wouldn't know the first thing about it.
Yeah, they'd probably find a different gene editor.
I would think so, yes.
You know who they might have asked?
But there are so many people that are, hard up for money. It really could have been anyone. We tried to keep a tight ship here at the ELO.
Well, I figured the ELO would come to you for advice on gene editing. Did they not?
Oh, yes, of course they did.
So you must know a little bit about St. Judas if they came for your advice on it.
I would say that you ask quite the probing amount of questions for an intern.
Well, I'm trying to learn. Am I doing okay?
She's a bit of an excitable person. You kind of have to forgive her. She's very into this whole thing.
No, it's really exciting. I'm actually going to become a real journalist, guys. This is so much fun. I'm just an intern.
I see. Miss Nova, I seem to recall that you were involved in a bit of unfortunate business in the city, involving vampires and zombies, correct?
Oh gosh, you heard about that stuff too?
I did.
Did you deal with any of the vampires and or zombies?
Couldn't say. I may have. Who should know? I mostly dealt with the genetic material that was brought forth.
Oh, did you study zombie and vampire blood?
Yes. Well, it wasn't vampire blood, or zombie blood, as you call it. It was just simply an aberration. So we studied it, certainly.
Was it fun? Did you find out anything new?
I'm sorry, did you ask me if it was fun?
I mean, you wouldn't be doing gene editing if you didn't think it was fun. I mean, I would assume you enjoy your occupation.
Mr. Valley, it is quite clear by now, these are not interns, are they? Jason kind of adjusts his tie. Of course they are. What do you mean? The questions that they're asking. First, the knife party, really? Does that seem relevant at all? And now this young woman's asking me if it's fun to do research. Fun, Mr. Valley.
Listen, they're both just really excitable. Like I said, one's into true crime, and this one is suffering from LLD. She's seen too many TV shows.
He holds up a finger, and you, Miss O'Connor, does it not seem, I don't know, convenient that you have a reason for them to be asking inappropriate questions that I would then have to brush aside because they're quote-unquote excitable or into podcasting? Almost as if you're trying to provide some sort of cover story for them.
I mean, they're kids, They're interns. That's what interns do. Kids these days.
You seem to be making excuses. I won't lie.
What do you expect? They're kids. I mean, you gotta cover for them sometime.
The only reasonable here one is the fashionably dressed young man that you brought with you.
Jim waves from the back.
That is a fetching suit. I simply must get one.
He is the quiet type.
Yes, it's. Other than that, the rest of you seem quite suspect, I must say. And in these trying times, I suppose I should have better control over the information that gets out. After all, I wouldn't want any conspiracy nuts to take what I've said and twist it around so they can put it out online and then whip the mobs into a frenzy.
I'm not even allowed online anymore.
Whatever do you mean?
She got hacked.
Hacked by who?
It's a sensitive topic.
He holds up a finger and then takes out his Moby. Yeah, here we are. Miss Nia Nova, here's your account. I see a lot of... Oh, this interview is over. Well then, it's been very nice talking to you all then.
Yeah, thank you for your time. We'll just see ourselves out.
You certainly will.
Sorry, we wanted to talk to you about your profession and said you liked it.
Oh no, it's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine.
Marisol gestures for them to get the hell out.
I have to make a phone call. So if you'll excuse me.
You're gonna get
Are you sure you need to make a call? And she'll take out a sleep slide of his.
And he shrugs a little as you do. His sleep slides are erratic. His sleep schedule is broken. He doesn't seem to get a whole ton of it, but yes, of course. Why wouldn't I need to make a call? It's a business matter,
Ah, Just a business matter?
Yes. What concern is it of yours? It's